Hello everyone, this is a Volkswagen Id.7 Pro S Tourer. So this has the big battery, gross capacity 91 kilowatt hours, usable 86 kilowatt hours. And you know me, I own an Id.7 Pro, so with the smaller battery, 82 gross, 77 usable. And today I want to talk about if it's worth to get the big battery or not, if this is something for you or not.
If you want to know what you spend every month on your EV, if you want to know all of your trips, how far did you go, what was your average consumption, if you want to know all of your charging sessions, how many kilowatt hours did you charge, what is your AC to DC ratio, and you don't want to write all of this down yourself, then Tronity is exactly what you need. Tronity connects to your car, a lot of brands are supported, and in the app or in a browser you can see all of this data. You can also have 100% tax-compliant driver's logbook. My viewers get 25% off if they use the link in the description below.
Let's start with the net capacity. Like I said, 86 kilowatt hours and mine has 77. That is 11.7% more capacity, but I did a range test in both cars, and then with the consumption and the range that I can calculate the battery capacity that you can really use, that you can get out of the battery from 100% to 0%. And in my Id.7 it's 74.3 kilowatt hours. In this car it was 84 kilowatt hours. They did 13% more. So you can use even more with this battery. Let's talk about the money. The Pro, you can have the sedan for around 54,000 euros in Germany, Id.7, and the Pro S for around 59. So that's 9.2% more cost, around 5,000 euros for the big battery. Let's talk about a few things that are exactly the same. The car feels exactly the same, the power feels the same, the regenerative braking feels the same in the corner, at top speed, self-steering and all of this. There's no difference, you don't feel it, it's all fine and it's all amazing. And you might say, come on, why would you notice that? But for example, in an Id.3, when you go from the Pro to the Pro S, from the 58 kilowatt hours to the 77 kilowatt hours, which is of course more than from 77 to 86, it's a big difference in power, how it accelerates, and the regen. A few negative things. Number one is the weight. We go from, I weighed my Id.7 with 2,260 kilos with me inside and camera equipment, and this car here with 2,360 kilos. It's 100 kilos more. And this has a heat pump. Mine doesn't have a heat pump, but other than that, it's the same car, except that it's a Tourer. I don't know if the Tourer weighs that much more. I have read somewhere that the two modules that they put in for the battery should only weigh 60 kilos. So maybe it's just this of a difference. And the consumption is different because of the weight as well. We measured this car against my Id.7. We did a little drive and it was 6% higher consumption, but I know that the Tourer alone is 1.6% higher consumption to the sedan, so it's 4.4 higher consumption just because of the big battery and the weight. Next is acceleration. This car here did just do the sprint from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 6.58 seconds. My Id.7 does it in 6.39 seconds because we have a heavier car, like I said, 100 kilos this car, but it's the same motor. Another big advantage is charging. The peak in my Id.7 is 192 kilowatt. In this I have seen, I think, 205 kilowatt. But what's more important is the 10 to 80% time. My car 10 to 80% takes 25.5 minutes. In this car it was exactly 25 minutes, and this is a bigger battery, so there's more kilowatt hours going into the battery over time. But now we get to the two most important things. First, range, because like I said, higher capacity but higher consumption. So how much more is range in there? And the second is faster charging, like I said, but higher consumption. How much range can you charge into the battery? What's the difference there? And I have calculated range in the Pro S is 8.6% more. So if you get the same car, if you just change the battery from 428 to 465 kilometers, that's 8%, that's good, but if you think that you have 13% more battery, then it's not as perfect. And the other thing is charging. Like I said, this is a higher peak and charge is overall better. The charging curve, I looked at that, is really better in this car because it has a higher voltage because of the 2 more modules that are in the battery. And it's very interesting. If you want to add 200 kilometers to your battery, and I mean at 130 kilometers an hour, range test, I have measured the consumption. And then if you charge, I know the charging curve, I know the kilowatt hours charged. How do you get 200 kilometers into the battery? And it's the same time for 200 kilometers added to the battery, 12.5 minutes. It's exactly the same. If you want to add 300 kilometers, my car needs 22 minutes, this needs 20 minutes. And if you want to add 400 kilometers, you have to charge a bit more. It's 37 minutes in my car, and here it's 30. So if you are okay, if you only need 200 kilometers of range more in the summer, that happens, that you only charge 12 minutes and then you go on. There is no advantage to this big battery. It's heavier and therefore higher consumption. The charging is better, but it's the exact same thing. The charging is not something. If you want the range, like I said, it's a comfort function. It's the same as with a heat pump. You get more range, but you have to pay for it in the winter. And if you want that, go ahead. So these are the differences, and you have to decide for yourself, is it okay to pay 5,000 euros for 8% more range? But if you only charge to 200 kilometers into the battery, then it's the same charging. Again, like I said, with the heat pump, it's a comfort thing. You pay for something, you get something more, but do you need it? And it's all about this. Is the 8% more battery and better charging, is it worth the cost? And you also have to think, you have higher consumption, you will pay more in driving too. So, but not a lot. We're talking 4.4% more cost because of higher consumption. So this is the decision that you have to make. Is it worth it? Do you want range and over 200 kilowatt charging, and you charge longer than just 40-50%? Then of course this makes way more sense to you. And if you want to save some money and you think that the normal battery is enough range for you, then go for this. If you want to follow me on Instagram, BatteryLife1, and if you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon link in the description below, and here on YouTube there's also channel membership. And if you want to know what's happening behind the scenes, I have a third YouTube channel, Behind the Battery. But that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and take care. Bye!